Hello everybody, welcome to Ahmed and Behnaz's Travels channel. Today we have come to Qanat Qasabe, an amazing qanat with the deepest mother well in the world. It's located in Gonabad city, Khorasan al-Razavi province, Iran. I'm so excited. So let's go inside and make a look. If you enjoy this style of videos, please subscribe to our channel, like the video, and click the bell icon to get notified when a new video is uploaded. Also, if you are planning to visit this amazing qanat, please leave us a comment below this video. We will be happy to guide you. Qanat, kariz or aqueduct is a waterway or a channel dug underground so that water can flow through it to reach the surface of the ground. This stream or channel is deep in the ground to connect the series of wells that originate from the main well called mother well. A mother well is usually an underground spring. Qanats are used to direct water and manage it for agriculture and other purposes. This aqueduct channel may be several kilometers long until it reaches the surface of the ground, and the place where the water exits is called qanat mouth or sarqanat. Exploitation of underground water by kariz or qanat is one of the inventions of Iranians and was first built by Iranians, which has been used in a large part of the Iranian plateau since thousands of years ago. The plateau of Iran is a semi-arid land that in the past, without digging a qanat, life could not flow in a large part of it. Desert cities are cities made of clay and mud, and of course beautiful and eye-catching. The amount of rain in the desert cities is very small, and every drop of water has a high value and dignity for the people of this area. Iranians were able to direct the water to the surface of the ground by digging tunnels in the depths of the earth using the force of gravity. Gonabad city is in the east of Iran and the southernmost part of Razavi Khorasan. Iranians and even foreigners know the city as Qasabeh Qanat in the heart of its lands. Some explorers believe that the digging of Qasabeh Qanat dates back to the period of Khosrow. There are links between the digging of the qanat and Iran's biggest war, which are still not completely clear. After examining the pottery of the aqueduct wall, archaeologists suggested that its main line was built during the Achaemenid period. In the past, the people of this region lived by the Kalashur River. This river is 35 kilometers from Gonabad. With the drought and salinization of water, people thought of a solution, and the digging of Qanat started from here. In the past, the city of Gonabad was also known as Junaabad, which has its own story. The spiral tunnels of this Qanat are its amazing part. Many people say that the construction of this structure cannot be done by humans, and they related everything to legends. Knowing local legends always has its merits. To get to the story of digging the gems, it is better to see where this opinion comes from. If we follow the history of the city of Gonabad, we will reach some interesting clues. Gon means demon. People believed that the digging the Qasabeh Qanat is not the work of humans. They thought that this Qanat could only be built by the hands of demons. This old belief was the reason for people to think that the Qanat, with its complicated structure, is the work of jinns. In the old days, it was also called the Gonabad Jinn Qanat. The footprints left on the floor of the Qanat show that the diggers of the Qanat were tall people. The height of these people was 20 centimeters taller than today's humans, and this issue fueled doubts. Here, its corridors of several kilometers in the heart of the earth have stories to tell. Our trip to the Qasabeh Qanat becomes as exciting as the story of Jules Verne's journey to the depths of the earth. We usually think that the first human creations should be the simplest of their kind. But Qasabeh Qanat will change your mind. Although the Qanat is very deep, they made it in the most skillful way possible. Now imagine that at the time of digging this Qanat, none of today's digging facilities existed.
ولی آب نه سرد نه گرم، یه آب کاملا مطبوع و دوست داشتنی. جای همه خالیه و امیدوارم همه یه روز بتونیم اینجا رو ببینیم.
Everything becomes amazing when we say that the Qasabeh Qanat is the first Qanat in the world. But this is not everything. Its idea and implementation are unique to Iranians and have no equal in the world. So, it can be concluded that the first achievements in the field of water structures were presented to the world by Iranians. There are 720 qanats in Gonabad, of which 599 qanats are active and 18 qanats provide water permanently throughout the year. Qasabeh Qanat has two entrances. Entrance number 1 is blocked due to the risk of falling, and now it is possible to enter the qanat from entrance number 2. The length of Qasabeh Qanat reaches 33 kilometers, and it has 2 main branches and 6 sub-branches. The construction of these branches of the Qasabeh Qanat of Gonabad was very intelligently. At that time, the diggers did not underestimate the possibility of falling and cutting off the water flow of the qanat. After the construction of 2 main channels, they added 6 branches of secondary channel. Qasabe and Moujudot are the 2 main branches of qanat. There was another branch named Old, which is not active now, but its path is available. The length of this branch is 20 kilometers, which including this branch, the length of Qasabeh Qanat reaches 53 kilometers. The water flow rate of the main well of the Qasabeh Qanat is currently 151 liters per second, which was more than 300 liters per second when the qanat was built. But due to the falls, sediments, and the narrowing of the channels, the water flow rate has reached 151 liters per second, which is equivalent to 13 million liters of water per day. The number of wells in this qanat reaches more than 470. Currently, 60% of the qanat wells are blocked. The Qasabeh Qanat of Gonabad is considered one of the wonders of the ancient human civilization. This qanat is the oldest and deepest qanat in the world. The construction of this qanat dates back to 2,250 years ago. The mysterious way of digging this qanat is very interesting. The diggers of this qanat have been able to make one of the most difficult human efforts of the ancient era. If we say that Iranians were the most skilled diggers in the world, we are not wrong. One of those who spent many years of his life researching about the qanat was the French Henri Gobloy. In a book called Qanat, a technique for obtaining water, he praises the Qasabeh Qanat and mentions it as the most engineered qanat in the world. The depth of the main well or mother well is about 330 meters, which is higher than the height of the Eiffel Tower. At a depth of 330 meters, there are 2 big problems. The first is breathing, and the second is the weight of the rope that is sent to this depth. One hypothesis is that they made tubes from goat skin, and by connecting them together, they made a long tube and took one end to the depth of the well and blew air into it from above. The second hypothesis is that they dug a pipe in the form of a chimney in the wall of the well to create air circulation and ventilation. Other hypotheses include the use of vinegar in the well to produce oxygen and prevent shortness of breath. The second problem is that at the depth of 330 meters, the weight of the rope is about 300 kilograms, to which the weight of the soil that must be removed from the well is added. To solve this problem, every 100 meters of the well depth, a chamber-shaped station is installed in the well wall. The well wheel is installed in the stations, and the well depth is divided into shorter distances. The soil is removed from the depth of the well in shorter distances during several stages. A double-headed well wheel was used in digging the Qanat. At the same time, one end of the rope goes into the well with an empty bucket, and the other end of the rope goes out of the well with a bucket full of clod and mud. In this way, the well wheel has more balance and the work has been done faster. A method called the circular method has been used in digging Qasabeh Qanat wells. In this method, the well is dug from the bottom up. When the well is dug from the surface of the ground, it is possible to dig the well as long as the well does not reach water. After the well reaches water, it is no longer possible to dig the well. To access more underground water, they dug the well from the bottom up, which is a very dangerous job. The slope of Qasabeh Qanat is 1 per mile, which means that 1% is added to its slope for every 1 kilometer. The method of detecting the location of underground water is based on the presence of roots of plants such as the camel thorn plant. The root of the camel thorn plant goes very deep into the ground in search of water. It took 400 years to build the Qasabeh Qanat, while only one person could dig inside the well. It is estimated that 270 million cubic meters of soil was removed from this Qanat, which takes 100 years to build with today's technology. Gonabad Qasabeh Qanat was registered by UNESCO in 2016. The management and maintenance of Qasabeh Qanat has been done traditionally since 2,250 years ago until today. Haj Ghulam Reza Nabipur is someone who has spent his life protecting this Qanat. Haj Ghulam Reza Nabipur's name was registered as the first person in the national list of intangible cultural heritage carriers of Iran.